today I'm out here on this 2023 Kawasaki ZX4RR, and I'm taking it on its first ride debut. Now guys, I've never ridden this bike before, but after today's video, I should have a much better idea of what it's all about. Stick around to the end of the video, and I will give it a chase score so you guys can know all about it. I'm Chaseontwowheels. Welcome to our first ride. I am just a cold boy from a cold family. Huh? Ridiculous. I know. You know what's even more ridiculous than the 26 degrees out here? How awesome Cardos are, and I got a discount for you guys in the description down below. Use that code, get 10% off. You're welcome. Let's go ride a beast. All right, guys, that's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Now, before I go freeze my balls off on this thing,
we interrupt your regularly scheduled first ride to pay some bills and eat some meals, thanks to our sponsor of today's video, Factor. All right, so guys, real talk, Factor has been saving me lately. Between running in the channel and having a 2-month-old at home, I don't necessarily have time to cook, and that leads me to ordering out way more than I should, which, yes, adds up very fast. On the wallet and on the belly. But with Factor, I get fresh and never frozen meals delivered directly to my freaking door, throw them in the fridge, and that way, when I'm hungry, I can literally just go grab it, throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and boom, I have a meal that actually tastes good. 2 minutes, that's it, and that's way faster than waiting for takeout. Plus, they've got like 35 meals to choose from every week. Stuff like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, and Vegan and Veggie. And the juices and snacks are clutch when I'm running around and need something quick. Bottom line is, guys, Factor makes it stupid simple to eat well while not having to spend a ton of time cooking or spending a ton of money ordering takeout. So if you guys are looking to save some time, eat better, and save a ton of cash, you definitely want to check them out. Oh, that is solid. All y'all got to do is head to factor75.com, or you can click the link in the description down below, or scan this QR code if you're one of those guys, and use the code at 50CHASE, and you guys are going to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50CHASE at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's kind of nuts you get that much of a discount, so there's no real reason not to try this stuff out. All right, let's get back to that first ride before this food gets cold.
All right, guys, let me get these heated ass gloves on because it is 26 degrees out here today. But you know what? I'm out here doing first rides. Honestly, the reason I'm doing the first ride today, guys, is because WOW has been nice enough to hold this bike for me for 3 days. I have not got the chance to ride one of these, and today is literally the only day I can ride it. And they were like,
hey man, we can only hold it for you for 3 days because we got people wanting to buy this thing.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna come to a first ride. And they're like,
are you sure? It's 26 degrees outside.
And I was like, the people want their Kawasaki's. I'm here to give you your Kawasaki's. Drop a like for me in the comments, guys. And Lord God, I would love a hot Factor meal right now. I know it's a sponsor thing, but dude, I'm starving and I need food. Okay. Let's get on this bike and get going so I can get warmed up. Sport mode? We ain't starting in sport mode. Come on. Let's get all the way down. There we go, rain mode. Alrighty guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, and surprisingly, I have relatively bent legs on this bike. So all of my short people out there, this is not a bike you have to worry about at all. We got modes, we'll talk about those throughout the video. We got some cool stuff, we got adjustable suspension. We have a good time. Other than the absolute freezing temperatures, today should be a very fun day. Hopefully my Alpine Stars heated gloves hold up. And guys, let's get this thing going. Let's get this rev happy monster out of here. That was not even up to 40. This is going to be an awesome day. By the way, don't trust YouTube to let you guys know when we post content. Join our newsletter. We don't email you that often. Links in the description. Alrighty, ZX4RR. I have been very excited to ride you. I cannot wait to figure out what this bike is all about today. You guys have seemed to be super hyped on this motorcycle, and I am starting to understand why the more research I do into it. Today's going to be interesting, on top of it being very windy and 26 degrees Fahrenheit. So, good day for me, boys. Alrighty, guys, it's a first ride. Let's talk about body position, which I do think is pretty interesting on this bike. One, we have a slightly harder seat. It does seem pretty wide, though, and for being what a little race bike this bike is or seems to be, I'm surprised I'm not crunched up more on the bike. Now, my legs are very much in a aggressive position. They're tucked up and back a little bit, but they're not as tucked up as they otherwise could be, and it actually allows me to move around on the bike a little better, which I appreciate. And then my top half, obviously we've got clip-ons. My arms are draped down, but I'm not leaned way forward. This bike is actually a much more calmed down situation than I really expected it to be body position wise, and I really like that because if I want to get aggressive I can, but it doesn't require me to lean forward, so I'm really here for that. Oh, we're getting the green light. That's awesome. I'm gonna hold this up arrow, guys, so we're gonna go from rain mode to road mode, give us a little more power here. And rain mode's cool. It's a 400, so you know, rain mode, I don't know if it's necessary or not, but cool, I'm glad it's there. So, speaking of power, let's talk about what's powering this thing. It is Kawasaki's 399cc inline-four, which is nuts. I love that this is a thing. Leave it to Kawasaki to do something like that. But, power-wise, we are looking at 77 horsepower and 29 foot-pounds of torque. How crazy of a number is that? A 400cc bike with 77 horsepower. That's absolutely insane, and I love every bit of it. The bike's also coming in at a weight of 414 pounds with a 4-gallon gas tank. So the numbers on this thing are just hilarious in my opinion. Now, one of the standout features of the ZX4 is how high this little inline-four revs. As you guys can see, it redlines at 16,000 RPMs. That means in first gear, I can still go. Bro, I've got 5,000 RPMs to go. That is so insane. All right, I'm gonna shift now. And yes, it does have a quick shifter. What an insane motorcycle, dude. Also, guys, you're gonna have to excuse my Michelin Man mode. I have to wear every piece of heated gear and puffy gear that I own today to survive riding this thing in 26 degree weather. Get into neutral, for God's sake, man. Alright, let's talk about city performance on the ZX4RR. I kind of love this motorcycle for the city because you can put the revs so high that it gives all the power of the motorcycle and you can be going literally nowhere, but the bike is sitting there absolutely screaming. And it's hilarious, and it's actually efficient that way because you've got all the power the bike has available on tap and ready to go. And it makes for such an enjoyable and fun riding experience, and you don't have to be going fast. I really love it for city riding, and the body position not being as aggressive as it otherwise could be, especially with it being a race bike style thing. Kawasaki could have definitely laid us over the bike a lot more with the body position, and it would have kind of compromised its city performance. But because they didn't do that, you actually are in a more comfortable situation, body position wise, and you can actually keep a better look around. You're more comfortable. So surprisingly, this thing does not do bad in the city at all. I tell you, man, it is just it's a special feeling being on a motorcycle that can rev that high, and you can just stay in first gear forever and sound like you're going a million miles an hour. God, the thing will actually, it will shock you how much power it has as long as you ride it like you need to. You have to ride the revs really high, but it's kind of like what the bike wants anyway. Engine braking is so strong. I'm in the city going next to no miles an hour, and it sounds like that. That is hilarious. Oh my god, this is so great. I don't love the exhaust that the previous owner put on it, but the amount of satisfaction that I have of redlining it out of a turn and being okay. We're good. We're probably speeding a little bit, but like, I'm probably not gonna go to jail. God, and it hits. It hits so good. Oh my god, I feel like I'm riding in MotoGP and I'm literally just keeping up with traffic. I will say, at higher RPM, the bike gets a little twitchy. Like, if you let off the throttle a little bit, it has a lot of engine braking, and it'll go forward easy and it'll go back easy. Not back, but like slow you down easy. All right, let's try the quick shifter out. Bro, what? Oh my god, I love this. I love this so much. Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm not doing crazy stuff, but let me tell you, in my head, I feel like I'm in the Fast and the Furious right now. And I mean that in a good way. I mean that in a good way. Oh my god, I love this for the city so much. It's so fun to ride like this and sound like this and feel like this, but everything's okay. You're not breaking every law known to man. And the quick shifter, bro, you do not expect this motorcycle when you hear it. Oh my gosh, dude, the highway is gonna be nuts. Let's go ahead and get it into sport mode. All right. Whew, we're in sport mode. 400 super sport on the highway. Let's see what it's all about. I would have never expected the city to be that fun. I'm gonna be 100% with you. All right, green light. BMW, I got high expectations for you getting in this lane in front of me. Have you guys ever asked yourselves, I wonder what a 2023 ZX4RR, how long it'll take to go from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour? I too have never asked that question, but today we find out. You see how twitchy it is? It's very on-off. I'm not doing anything with the throttle and it does that. All right, on your mark, get set, go. Jesus. And that's 80 in second? At the top of second? In a 400, it'll go 80? That's insanity. I'm only in third? Bro, what is this bike? Literally, what is this? That is so nuts. It literally feels like a miniature R6. All right, we gotta slow down. How am I going 90 in fourth? And I got so many revs to go. All right, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. All right, we're gonna shift up. We're on casual mode. We're a filthy casual right now. This, it might be the coolest 400 that exists on the market. You get all of the experience of a absolute lunatic inline four-cylinder, but you get it in a 400 platform, so it's super light and easy to maneuver and ride, and it will probably kill you a lot slower than something bigger, but you get 100% of the experience. Holy crap, Kawasaki have made something absolutely magical with this bike. Okay, we're on cruise mode on the highway. We're still going way too fast, and honestly, for a bike that only weighs 414 pounds, this bike is doing a solid job. We've got a very windy day today, so I'm getting pushed around a little bit, but nowhere near what I would have expected out of a bike like this. Now, we don't have cruise control or anything like that. The throttle's pretty light, so I don't really have a problem just kind of holding the throttle here. And as far as the wind goes, you know, I'm getting the wind kind of directly in my chest, but I'm leaned forward a little bit. I can lean into it. I could do a 1-2 hours on the highway with this bike if I leaned my arm up and just sat into it. Wouldn't really be a problem. Overall, really impressed with that engine on the highway. I thought it would die out some, and it is doing nothing but impressing me every mile I put on it. I am shocked with this bike right now. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can get in front of the truck. We'll have to slow right down afterwards. Alright, quick shifter, we're gonna put you to work. Brakes coming in, brakes grab hard. Oh, that's awesome. Woo! The twitchiness. That. Oh man, no, that ruins it. That twitchiness when you're high up in the revs. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that ruins it. That totally ruins it. So for some reason, when you're really high revving this motorcycle, there's a weird on-off that the throttle does. I don't know if that's the sensor in the throttle or what, but the bike is literally, it will cut power and bring it back. But when you're high up in the revs, you're messing around with a lot of horsepower, and that totally upsets the bike when it does that. I wonder if you could get this bike mapped differently, because if you can't, that would really suck. Because everything about this was fantastic until the power started cutting. Let me see if I can make it happen for you guys again. All right, let's see if it does it. I'm constant throttle right now. It's not doing it now. Weird. I don't know if you guys could notice when I was on that big turn off the highway and I was leaned over, the bike was doing that kind of thing. I just did that, but that's kind of the vibe it was giving. Yeah, that throws the whole bike off. Interesting. All right, so apart from that, let's move on. We got Showa front and rear suspension that is also adjustable. Freaking awesome. Lamborghini Mercy. So suspension feels fantastic. I'm really upset that the power got a little weird on that turn because the bike leaned over so nicely and just got directly locked in place. I love that. And I love that it's adjustable too. I wouldn't need to adjust it as it is right now, but that's awesome that it is adjustable. Also, the brakes coming in off the highway to scrub some speed off, they have a really strong bite from the get-go that helps you get that speed scrubbed off quickly, and they're Nissan brakes, which is awesome. They're not Brembos or anything like that, so fantastic job as far as that goes. Also, we got to talk about this quick shifter. Just so you guys know, the last bike I did a first ride on was also a Kawasaki, and the quick shifter was super meh. This one is fantastic. It's quick and it works fast. It does not upset the motorcycle. This one is fantastic. I absolutely love this, the quick shifter that's on this bike. Another thing that I absolutely love is how freaking tall the gearing is. These gears are so high, but it makes for such a fun riding experience to just rev this bike all the way out. I would argue that that is the only way for you to ride this bike around, and I think Kawasaki knows that, and they have built the bike around that experience, and as long as you ride it like that, you are gonna have such a phenomenal time. All right, let's talk about the controls up here. Pretty typical Kawasaki from the bikes I've ridden recently. Relatively simple stuff. The menus, I don't even know how to use the menus on this bike. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've been over here trying to like push buttons and hold buttons, and Kawasaki, I feel like you guys make great motorcycles, and your tech on how to use the dash and stuff has always been so much more complicated than it needs to be. I feel like to change the modes, you push these up arrows and you hold them. You have to hold them for way too long for the modes to change. There's just lots of little things like that that Kawasaki need to really get dialed to be as competitive with their bikes as they should be. Like, these bikes are great, but there's all these little things just messing them up. It's like somebody that can run a marathon really fast, but they can't tie their shoes and they keep tripping. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid that you're not getting right, that you should be getting right. You literally have everything else going for you. I don't understand how that could be happening, but alas, here we are. Now, I will say the dash in front of me, I haven't had a problem seeing it. It looks like an okay dash. It's not bad. It's not the greatest or anything like that, but It doesn't really have to be. It does its job really well. So I don't have a problem with the actual dash itself. I have a problem with the way you control the dash. The buttons feel fine. I have no issue with the button feel. I just have an issue with the button usage. What else? We do have 2 adjustable levers up top. They are black. They're a little slick, hard to get a good grip on. But I've loved the way they felt. I haven't really used the clutch that much. I will say the clutch engages a little too soon, I feel like. So when you're in city traffic and you're trying to like lightly let the clutch out and get going, especially with how rev happy the bike is, it's a little hard to be really smooth off the get-go is what I've noticed so far. But I've got no problems with the brake side. I love how strong they are up front. I love how smooth they are afterwards. It makes it so I can scrub speed quickly if I need to and then get that fine-tune adjustment. So I absolutely love that. What else? We got the mirrors here a little far out in front of us, but they do a good job. I can set them up to see very easily behind me with no problems there. Love that. I think that might be the majority of this bike. God, that first ride felt like it did not last long. I don't know if you guys feel like that, but my God, that was fast. God, that feeling is worth everything. My Jesus. Alrighty, guys, it is time to find out how the ZX4RR handles on the chase score. Let's check it out.
All right, so guys, let's get into the chase score on the 2023 Kawasaki ZX4RR. All right, guys, let's start out with throttle response. I'm giving this a 6 because of that weird throttle closing it had at the higher RPMs. If it wasn't for that weirdness, I would have given this number a good bit higher. Agility-wise, I'm going to give this thing an 8. It's so light and it makes this thing effortless to move around. Now, the brakes surprised me at how good they were at initially scrubbing that speed off, so I'm going to give them a 7. I'm giving an acceleration a 6 only because it's a 400cc and there are faster bikes, but the level of fun you have revving this bike out and accelerating is absolutely intoxicating. Now, suspension's going to get a 6. It's adjustable, it felt great, especially for harder riding, so I feel like that's a solid number. Now, it is a sport bike, so comfort's never going to be a high score here, but this one didn't break my back into a million pieces, so I'm giving it a 4. Nothing crazy to talk about in the tech department, so I'm going to keep it even and give it a 5. Now, with ease of use, I just honestly hate Kawasaki's way of using their menus, but I'm going to be generous with a 4 on this bike. Now, versatility-wise, this bike is hella fun in the city and would be an amazing track bike, but other than technical riding and city slaying, I can't really see myself wanting to do much more than that, so I'm going to give it a 4 here. Now, for fun for the money, I know that it's a 400cc bike that isn't that cheap, but to get the full R6 riding experience in a smaller and lighter platform just makes my soul happy, so it gets a 9 here. With those total scores, that gives the ride a score of 33, and it gives the usability of this bike a score of 26 for a total of 59.
So there we go, guys. That is the ZX4RR, the 2023 model from Kawasaki. Big shout out to WOW Motorcycles for loaning us this motorcycle. I was so excited to ride this. The second WOW told me they had it, I jumped on it, and that's why I'm out here riding it in 26-degree weather, because I was so excited. And after that first ride, I am so glad I did. Kawasaki has made something very special with this motorcycle. Previously, the R6 was basically the only motorcycle that could give you this kind of feeling, and now Kawasaki has entered the chat just as the R6 is going out. How crazy is that? I absolutely love it. If you're a newer rider and you're looking for a sport bike, something to start on, get this, stick it in rain mode. Never let it leave rain mode, and just learn into the motorcycle and then progress into the other modes as necessary. If you are an experienced rider and you, like me, and you want a track-focused motorcycle that you can really just dig into, just the suspension, and just learn to ride better, this thing would be phenomenal. It would be good for so many different riders as long as they are focused on sport riding. I think this is an absolute gem of a motorcycle. Kawasaki, I'm really proud of you for putting something like this out into the world. I think it's an awesome addition to the motorcycle space. And guys, that's all I've got on this first ride. Do me a favor, like the video if you made it to this far into it, because we've spent a decent while together. Also, share this video out with somebody that you would love to go ride with on a ZX4RR. If you guys want to watch more first rides, I'll have a playlist in the description, and you can watch all the first rides we have ever done. And guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. You guys please go out there and ride safe on whatever bike you're on, and I'll see you on the next one. Later. This experience is so great. It's not perfect by any means, but holy Christ, is it fun.